The foreboding council. The Grand Assembly Hall on Nexus Prime gleamed under the light of 3 artificial suns, its crystalline walls containing representatives from 57 advanced civilizations. Delegates from across the galaxy gathered for what was supposed to be a routine resource allocation meeting. There forms a spectacular display of biological diversity. Floating gas beings, crystalline entities, cybernetic hybrids, and everything in between. At the center podium stood Supreme Chancellor Vexthor, a towering draconian whose scaled exterior shifted colors with his emotions. Today they pulsed with confident authority as he addressed the assembly about the latest survey of potential harvest worlds. Esteemed members of the Galactic Federation, Vexthor began, his voice resonating through universal translators. Our scouts have identified a pristine world in the Orion Arm, rich in resources and populated by a primitive species calling themselves humans. Initial assessments show minimal technological advancement, basic nuclear capabilities, and no unified planetary government. Murmurs of interest rippled through the assembly. Resource-rich worlds with primitive inhabitants were rare finds, usually offering wealth without significant resistance. Suddenly, the chamber's ambient lighting flickered, and a holographic projection materialized in the center. The image revealed a being unlike any in the Federation, an ethereal figure composed of shifting starlight and cosmic dust. The Salanthy, the galaxy's most ancient and enigmatic race, rarely involved themselves in Federation affairs. "We bring warning," the Salanthy representative intoned, its voice echoing with the gravity of collapsed stars. "The world you seek to harvest, Earth, must remain untouched. Its inhabitants, these humans, are not what they appear." Chancellor Vexthor's scales shifted to an irritated orange. "Explain yourself, Ancient One. Our surveys show nothing remarkable about these humans. They still war among themselves, pollute their own atmosphere, and barely reach their moon." The Salanthy's form pulsed with urgency. "You measure advancement by technology alone. We have observed humanity for millennia. They possess a quality your instruments cannot detect, an indomitable spirit that transforms impossibility into reality. They adapt, overcome, and unite when faced with existential threats. Leave Earth alone, or face consequences beyond your comprehension." Ambassador Krultek of the Zynthian Empire, a creature of living metal and plasma, scoffed. "With respect, the Salanthy speak in riddles. We have conquered worlds with civilizations far more advanced than these humans. What could primitives who still use chemical rockets possibly do against our quantum drives and plasma weapons?" The assembly erupted in agreement. The Meridian delegate, a being of pure energy contained in a crystalline shell, voiced what many were thinking. The Salanthy grow sentimental in their age. They forget that the Federation's strength comes from harvesting resources to benefit all member species. One backward planet cannot stand against our combined might. The Salanthy's form dimmed, taking on hues of deep concern. "You mistake observation for sentiment. We have witnessed species like yours before, confident in their superiority, blind to the potential of those they deem inferior. Humans possess something your technology cannot measure or counter: the ability to unite in the face of annihilation, to innovate under pressure, and to fight with a ferocity that defies logic." Chancellor Vexthor raised a clawed hand for silence. "Your warning is noted, Ancient One, but the Federation's needs are clear. Earth's resources will fuel our expansion for generations. We will proceed with the harvest operation." As the Salanthy's projection faded, its final words hung in the air like a prophecy. "You have been warned. When humans unite against a common enemy, they become something more than the sum of their parts. You will learn this truth, but by then, it will be too late." The assembly continued with the logistics of the harvest operation. Admiral Zorvan of the Federation Navy presented the invasion plan, displaying holographic simulations of Earth's defenses being overwhelmed within hours. The strategy was simple: shock and awe followed by systematic resource extraction. "Our fleet will consist of 50 dreadnoughts, 200 cruisers, and support vessels. Zorvan explained, his 4 arms gesturing at the tactical display. Earth's military satellites will be disabled first, followed by their communication networks. We estimate complete planetary submission within 1 rotation of their world. The delegates watched with satisfaction as simulated Federation ships easily overcame Earth's defenses. None noticed the slight tremor in the holographic display, a glitch that momentarily showed human vessels employing tactics not in any Federation database. In the days that followed, the Harvest Fleet assembled at the edge of Federation space. It was the largest resource acquisition force ever deployed, a testament to Earth's potential value. Aboard the flagship Dominion, Admiral Zorvan surveyed his armada with pride. The combined firepower could crack a planet's crust, yet they planned to use minimal force. After all, dead worlds yielded fewer resources. As the fleet prepared to enter hyperspace, a final transmission from the Salanthy reached the Dominion. It contained no words, only an ancient symbol their translators couldn't decipher. Zorvan dismissed it as meaningless tradition and gave the order to proceed. The journey to Earth took 3 standard cycles. During transit, intelligence officers briefed invasion forces on human culture, military capabilities, and probable resistance scenarios. The briefings painted a picture of a divided species, prone to infighting and technological stagnation. Some officers even joked about humans still using projectile weapons and wheeled vehicles. Lieutenant Commander Thexril, a young Varnathi officer, studied the reports with unusual interest. Something about human history bothered her. The pattern of seemingly impossible victories against superior forces, the tendency to reverse engineer captured technology at remarkable speeds, and most puzzling, their ability to set aside differences when facing external threats. Sir, she addressed her superior, these historical records show humans defeating numerically superior forces repeatedly. Perhaps we should consider alternative approaches. Her commander, a veteran of dozens of harvest operations, laughed. You give them too much credit, Lieutenant. They defeated each other, not advanced civilizations. Their greatest weapons barely scratch our shields. This will be a textbook operation. As the fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, long-range sensors detected something unexpected. Earth's orbital space was far more crowded than surveys had indicated. Thousands of satellites formed an intricate network, and several space stations showed signs of recent, rapid construction. Curious, Admiral Zorvan mused, studying the readings. They've been busy since our last survey. No matter. Begin the operation. The fleet advanced toward Earth, confident in their superiority. They failed to notice the subtle repositioning of human satellites, the encrypted signals bouncing between continents, or the fact that Earth's night side showed unusual activity patterns. The humans knew they were coming. In the depths of Earth's oceans, in mountain bunkers, and in facilities hidden beneath major cities, humanity's true technological capabilities hummed to life. Projects developed in secret, reverse-engineered from crashed UFOs, and theoretical physics, powered up for the first time. Earth's governments, setting aside their differences, had united under a single command structure: the United Earth Defense Force. General Elena Rodriguez stood in the command center beneath Cheyenne Mountain, watching alien ships approach on the main display. Around her, representatives from every nation worked in unprecedented harmony. Years of secret preparation were about to be tested. All units report ready, General, her aide reported. Operation David's Sling is prepared to commence on your order. Rodriguez nodded, remembering the ancient story of David and Goliath. Let them come closer. We'll only get one chance to surprise them. As the Federation fleet entered Earth's outer atmosphere, Admiral Zorvan broadcast the standard surrender demand. The response he received was not what any invasion force had ever encountered before. Instead of panic or submission, Earth responded with a single word that would echo through galactic history: no. What followed would forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. The Federation was about to learn why the Salanthy had warned them, why humans were different, and why Earth should have been left alone. The first phase of humanity's response began not with weapons, but with what appeared to be a catastrophic failure of human technology. Satellites began falling from orbit, power grids fluctuated wildly, and communication networks seemed to collapse. The Federation fleet, misinterpreting these signs as fear-induced system failures, moved closer to begin their harvest operation. They had no idea they were flying into the most elaborate trap in military history. First contact goes wrong. Admiral Zorvan watched the apparent collapse of Earth's infrastructure with satisfaction. Their primitive systems are failing under the electromagnetic interference from our drives, he announced to the bridge crew of the Dominion. Begin deployment of harvester drones to major population centers. As thousands of Federation craft descended through Earth's atmosphere, they encountered what appeared to be token resistance. Outdated fighter jets launching conventional missiles that exploded harmlessly against advanced shields. The Admiral's confidence grew with each ineffective human response. Pitiful, Commander Vexnar sneered, observing the tactical display. They still use chemical propulsion and explosive warheads. This won't even qualify as a battle in our records. Lieutenant Commander Thexril remained silent, her instincts screaming that something was wrong. The human resistance seemed too predictable, too conventional. Her studies of human military history had shown a species that excelled at deception and unconventional warfare. The Federation fleet settled into low orbit, with harvester ships descending toward major cities. That's when humanity's true response began. Every piece of space debris suddenly activated. What the Federation had dismissed as falling satellites were actually weapons platforms, their true nature hidden by layers of mundane technology. The electromagnetic disruptions hadn't been system failures but coordinated jamming operations to mask humanity's real capabilities. Admiral, the sensor officer shouted, panic in his voice. The debris field. It's not debris. They're weapons platforms powering up. Before Zorvan could respond, beams of coherent energy lanced out from the disguised platforms. These weren't simple lasers but weaponized applications of quantum entanglement, a technology the Federation thought impossible to weaponize. The beams bypassed shields entirely, striking directly at ship systems by exploiting quantum tunneling effects. Simultaneously, the failed power grids on Earth revealed their true purpose. Massive ground-based particle accelerators, hidden within civilian infrastructure, fired streams of exotic matter at the descending harvester ships. The particles destabilized the quantum fields that Federation shields relied upon, rendering them useless. In New York City, what appeared to be a crumbling skyscraper suddenly split open, revealing a massive railgun that fired projectiles at relativistic speeds. In the Sahara Desert, sand dunes parted to expose directed energy weapons that had been charging for days. Beneath the oceans, submarines launched missiles that deployed not explosives but miniature black holes, creating gravitational anomalies that tore apart Federation formations. The human fighter jets that had seemed so primitive revealed their true nature. Their conventional missiles had been a ruse. Their real weapons were electromagnetic pulse generators that scrambled Federation targeting systems and swarms of nanobots that infiltrated enemy ships through microscopic hull breaches. This is impossible. Admiral Zorvan roared as his tactical display showed cascading system failures across the fleet. They don't have this technology. Lieutenant Commander Thexril finally spoke up. Sir, I believe they've been hiding their true capabilities. Every primitive response was designed to lure us into optimal firing positions for their real weapons. The Federation fleet found itself caught in a three-dimensional crossfire. From orbit, the disguised weapons platforms continued their quantum attacks. From the ground, exotic particle beams and relativistic projectiles struck with devastating accuracy. And from Earth's oceans, submarines launched weapons that defied conventional physics. In the chaos, humanity's true space fleet revealed itself. Ships that had been hidden on the far side of the moon, cloaked by advanced stealth technology, emerged to engage the Federation forces. These weren't the chemical rocket vessels the aliens had expected, but craft powered by zero-point energy drives and armed with weapons that manipulated fundamental forces. General Rodriguez coordinated the global response from her command center. All units, execute Phase 2. Show them what happens when humanity unites. Across the planet, civilians who had seemed to panic now revealed their role in Earth's defense. Amateur radio operators activated a planetary quantum communication network immune to jamming. Citizen scientists in makeshift laboratories deployed atmospheric nanite swarms that interfered with alien sensors. Even children contributed, using modified gaming consoles to help process targeting data for defense systems. The Federation forces, accustomed to fighting enemies who employed predictable, conventional tactics, found themselves completely unprepared for humanity's approach to warfare. Humans didn't just fight with weapons. They weaponized everything. Weather control systems generated hurricane-force winds filled with monofilament wires that shredded harvester drones. The Large Hadron Collider, expanded and upgraded in secret, generated microscopic wormholes that transported antimatter bombs directly inside enemy ships. Even Earth's magnetic field was weaponized, focused and amplified to create electromagnetic pulses that disabled entire squadrons. They're using their entire planet as a weapon. A Federation scientist reported in disbelief. Every system, every structure, even their natural phenomena. It's all been turned against us. Admiral Zorvan watched in horror as his invasion force was systematically dismantled. The humans fought with a coordination and creativity that defied everything the Federation knew about warfare. More terrifying was their adaptability. Every tactic that showed even momentary success was immediately countered and turned against the invaders. The turning point came when human hackers, using quantum computers hidden in Antarctica, penetrated the Federation battle network. Instead of simply disrupting communications, they reprogrammed harvester drones to attack their own motherships. The sight of their own technology being turned against them shattered the morale of many Federation crews. Admiral Thexril reported, her voice steady despite the chaos. We've lost 60% of our harvester fleet and 40% of our combat vessels. The humans are adapting to our tactics faster than we can change them. They're not just defending. They're learning from every exchange. Zorvan's scales had turned the deep black of defeat. How? How did they develop such technology without us detecting it? Sir, Thexril replied, I believe they've been preparing for this moment for decades, perhaps centuries. Every piece of civilian technology was designed with dual purposes. They didn't just hide weapons, they hid an entire technological civilization behind a facade of primitiveness. As if to emphasize her point, the moon suddenly revealed its secret. What the Federation had dismissed as a barren satellite lit up with energy signatures. Massive doors opened on its surface, revealing shipyards, weapons platforms, and defensive installations. Humanity had turned their moon into a fortress without anyone noticing. The human counterattack intensified. Ships powered by technologies that seemed to violate known physics engaged Federation vessels at impossible speeds. Weapons that manipulated spacetime itself created localized temporal anomalies, aging enemy ships thousands of years in seconds or trapping them in repeating time loops. In desperation, Admiral Zorvan ordered the deployment of planet cracker weapons, devices capable of destabilizing Earth's core. But as the weapons powered up, they simply vanished, teleported away by human technology that could manipulate quantum foam itself. Sir, the science officer reported, his voice trembling, they didn't just teleport our weapons. They sent them back in time. We're detecting their detonations in empty space millions of years ago. The Federation fleet, once a symbol of galactic dominance, found itself in full retreat. But humanity wasn't finished. As the aliens attempted to flee, they discovered that human ships had somehow already positioned themselves along every escape route. General Rodriguez opened a channel to the Federation flagship. Admiral Zorvan, this is General Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth Defense Force. You came to harvest our world. Instead, you've helped us reveal our true strength. We offer you a choice: surrender unconditionally, or face complete annihilation." Zorvan stared at the human commander on his view screen, seeing not a primitive species, but a civilization that had mastered the art of deception on a galactic scale. "How?" he asked simply. "How did you hide this from us?" Rodriguez smiled grimly. "We learned long ago that the best weapon is the one your enemy doesn't know exists. Every war in our history, every conflict, every competition, they were all preparing us for this moment. We didn't just build weapons. We built a civilization designed to survive and triumph against any threat." The Federation had come to Earth expecting to find primitive humans using chemical rockets and projectile weapons. Instead, they encountered a species that had turned their entire world into a weapon, hidden their true capabilities behind a masterful facade, and united with unprecedented coordination when faced with extinction. As news of the defeat spread across the galaxy, the Salanthy's warning echoed in the minds of every Federation leader. They had been told that humans were different, that they possessed an indomitable spirit that transformed impossibility into reality. Now they understood, but as predicted, it was too late. The Battle of Earth, as it would come to be known, lasted less than one planetary rotation. In that time, humanity not only defeated the largest invasion fleet in galactic history, but demonstrated technological capabilities that rivaled or exceeded those of the Federation itself. But the true shock was yet to come. As the surviving Federation ships limped away from Earth, they received a transmission that would reshape galactic politics forever. Humanity wasn't content with mere defense. They were about to take their place among the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Human Counterattack. As the battered Federation fleet regrouped beyond Mars, Admiral Zorvan received a priority transmission from Earth. General Rodriguez appeared on the screen, but this time she wasn't alone. Behind her stood representatives from every nation, a united front that the Federation had thought impossible for humans. "Admiral," Rodriguez began, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's collective will, "your defeat here today wasn't just a military failure. It was a fundamental misunderstanding of what humanity represents. We don't just defend. We adapt, overcome, and ultimately, we advance." Before Zorvan could respond, alerts blared across his bridge. "Admiral, massive energy signatures detected throughout the solar system. They're everywhere." The main tactical display lit up with contacts. Hidden facilities on Mars activated, revealing shipyards that had been constructing vessels in underground caverns. The asteroid belt came alive with mining operations and defensive platforms. Jupiter's moons unveiled research stations and weapon systems. Even the Kuiper belt showed signs of human presence. "Impossible," Zorvan whispered. "Our survey showed no development beyond Earth's moon." Lieutenant Commander Thexril stepped forward. "Sir, I believe we're seeing the result of humanity's greatest deception. They didn't just hide their technology on Earth. They've secretly colonized their entire solar system." As if on cue, hundreds of human vessels emerged from concealment. These weren't hastily constructed defenders, but a fully developed fleet representing decades of hidden advancement. Ships emerged from Jupiter's atmosphere, rose from beneath Mars' surface, and decloaked near Saturn's rings. The human fleet was unlike anything in Federation databases. Their ships seemed to bend space around them, moving in ways that defied conventional physics. Some vessels appeared to exist in multiple locations simultaneously, while others phased in and out of reality itself. "Admiral Zorvan," Rodriguez continued, "what you're witnessing is Project Phoenix, humanity's contingency plan for first contact with hostile aliens. Every nation on Earth contributed resources, personnel, and technology. We've been preparing for this moment since we first detected radio signals from other civilizations." The human fleet began advancing, not in standard formation, but in a complex, ever-shifting pattern that made targeting nearly impossible. At its head was the ESS Prometheus, a massive dreadnought that dwarfed even the Federation's largest vessels. Captain David Chen of the Prometheus opened a channel to the Federation fleet. "This is humanity calling. You came to our system with the intent to subjugate and harvest. Now you face the consequences. Surrender or face complete destruction." Zorvan's pride warred with his survival instinct. "You may have surprised us once, but the Federation still commands thousands of worlds. You cannot hope to stand against our full might." Chen's response came not in words but in action. The Prometheus fired a single weapon, a beam that seemed to tear reality itself. The shot passed harmlessly through the Federation formation, but struck empty space behind them. Suddenly, a massive rift opened, and through it, the Federation forces could see their own homeworlds. "We call it the Einstein-Rosen cannon," Chen explained. "We can open wormholes to any point in space we've observed. Your home systems are now within our reach. Still think we can't stand against you?" The demonstration sent shockwaves through the Federation fleet. If humans could strike anywhere in the galaxy instantly, no world was safe. The balance of power hadn't just shifted, it had been completely upended. On Nexus Prime, emergency sessions of the Galactic Council convened as reports of the defeat reached them. Chancellor Vexthor found himself facing furious delegates demanding explanations for the catastrophic failure. "You assured us humans were primitive." The Meridian ambassador raged. "Now they threaten our very existence." Before Vexthor could respond, the Council chamber's security systems activated. A holographic projection appeared, not the ethereal form of the Salanthy, but General Rodriguez herself. "Members of the Galactic Council," she announced, "I appear before you not as a conqueror, but as a representative of Earth. You chose to ignore the warnings about humanity. Now you must face the reality of your decision." The chamber erupted in chaos, but Rodriguez continued. "We could use our technology to dominate the galaxy, but that's not who we are. Instead, we offer a choice: peaceful coexistence and mutual advancement, or continued conflict that will benefit no one." Back in the Sol system, Admiral Zorvan made his decision. Faced with technology that rendered traditional warfare obsolete and a species that had turned deception into an art form, he chose survival over pride. "General Rodriguez, on behalf of the Federation fleet, I accept your terms of surrender." The aftermath of the Battle of Earth reshaped galactic civilization. Humanity didn't seek revenge or domination, but instead proposed a new paradigm for interstellar relations. The United Earth Alliance was formed, offering membership to any species willing to embrace principles of mutual respect, shared advancement, and peaceful coexistence. Many Federation worlds, impressed by humanity's restraint and victory, quickly joined the alliance. Others, still clinging to old hierarchies, found themselves increasingly isolated as human technology and diplomatic influence spread across the galaxy. The Salanthy, observing these developments, finally revealed why they had warned against antagonizing humanity. In Earth's ancient past, they had seeded the planet with quantum consciousness enhancers, subtle modifications that allowed humans to unconsciously process information at quantum levels. This explained humanity's unprecedented adaptability, innovation under pressure, and ability to unite when facing existential threats. "We planted the seeds," the Salanthy explained to human representatives, "but you cultivated them beyond our wildest expectations. You turned what was meant to be a survival mechanism into the foundation for a galactic civilization." Within a decade, the United Earth Alliance had grown to encompass half the known galaxy. Human technology, combined with alien knowledge, led to unprecedented advances in science, medicine, and exploration. The quantum consciousness that had helped humanity survive now facilitated understanding between species, breaking down barriers that had existed for millennia. On Earth, monuments were erected not to celebrate victory, but to commemorate unity. The Battle of Earth was taught not as a triumph over aliens, but as the moment humanity proved that cooperation could overcome any challenge. General Rodriguez, now Ambassador Rodriguez, addressed the first joint session of the Galactic Assembly, where humans sat as equals among the stars. "We were warned that space was dangerous, that other species would see us as prey. Instead, we chose to see potential allies, even in our enemies. Today, we stand together, not as conquerors and conquered, but as partners in exploring the infinite possibilities of our universe. In the depths of space, Federation holdouts still plotted against humanity, but their efforts were increasingly futile. Each attempt to undermine human influence only demonstrated why the Salanthy's warning had been prescient. Humans didn't just adapt to challenges, they transformed them into opportunities for growth. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity wasn't just another species to be cataloged and controlled. They were the catalyst for a new era of galactic civilization, one built on cooperation rather than domination, on shared progress rather than exploitation. As human ships ventured beyond the galactic rim, carrying representatives of dozens of species, they encountered new civilizations and new challenges. But now they faced them together, as a united galaxy, with humanity's indomitable spirit leading the way into the unknown. The Salanthy, watching from their dimension of pure thought, allowed themselves a moment of satisfaction. Their ancient gamble had paid off. They had warned the galaxy about humanity not out of fear, but out of hope. Hope that when pushed to the brink, humans would transcend their limitations and show the galaxy a better way. And so they had. The species that had been dismissed as primitive had become the architects of a new galactic order. The warning had been ignored, the lesson had been learned, and the galaxy would never be the same. In the end, the Federation's greatest mistake wasn't underestimating human technology or military capability. It was failing to understand that humanity's true power lay not in their weapons or ships, but in their unbreakable spirit, their boundless creativity, and their ability to see potential friends where others saw only enemies. The Council had been warned. Leave humans alone. They ignored it, and in doing so, they inadvertently gave humanity the push it needed to take its rightful place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as leaders of a new united galaxy.